And he's like, sorry about that, man. I didn't want to like shun you off. And I hear all this clanging going on. Like he sounds like the bells of Notre Dame are like
right.
in his ass.
Yeah.
Okay, like, I have no idea what's going on. He's like, check this out, and he's like very proud of himself. And he opens up his jacket.
Doesn't matter. Whatever. This type of food poisoning made me shit for 3 days.
Your whole hockey team watched the OC.
Yeah. Just boys being boys, baby.
So you went to the States this morning?
I didn't go to the States. I went right to this, like right before the States. I went to the border, they call it.
Yeah.
And I dropped off my girlfriend, and she ran.
Ran across the border.
And she ran across. No, I really did. I did drive all the way to the Canadian border. I dropped her off. She walked in the giant highway lanes towards the border like she was seeking refuge from just yelling.
Like I told you, I just imagined Vin Diesel on the other side being like, one more heist. Yeah. We're doing it. She's back. We needed her.
Yeah. It's family.
It's all about family.
And then he sings his song, and then Kelly Clarkson comes out. So I watched her just like walk towards the. I wish I had like.
And she threw her hat in the air and then just like freeze framed on it.
It was super dramatic.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, she seeked refuge. She's in the United States of America. I, like an idiot, like went the wrong way on the drop off and had to go back through Canadian border, even though I never crossed away from it.
It would have been great if you had just been stuck in fucking the DMZ zone or whatever.
So on my way into the car, I was wearing a hoodie, and I was like, it's too hot for this hoodie, so I just took it off and then put it in my back. But then as I sat down, I was like, did I hear something weird when I took that hoodie off? And I was like, I feel like I did. So I opened my car, and I see my wallets on the floor. On the ground outside my cars.
My God.
So I was almost drove without a wallet and without my license. And I didn't bring my passport because I didn't think I needed a passport. Yeah. So I almost was stuck with zero ID, like trying to explain to them how I didn't go to the United States, but I didn't leave Canada.
But you did cross the border back in.
It was
so you
weird.
Talked to like a border guard and everything?
Yeah, I had to wait. First of all, there were so many people waiting on foot to get into Canada. It was strange.
On foot?
There were 2 cars and 3 groups of people just on foot walking through. My girlfriend said she's going to do this.
Like camel die? Like what?
My girlfriend said she was going to do this. I thought it was like it's the first time I've ever heard anything like it.
I've never heard of crossing the border on foot.
This is pretty crazy. And then we get there, and there's like caravans of people. And there's the Israelites trying to get into land of Zion.
This is ours now.
It was weird. It took way too long for me to get through because every time someone was probably getting to the window, they're like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, again? It was his foot day.
Yeah, what are we doing here? Did you hear about the COVID thing? Go away. So then
I read on the blog that it could just come through.
I had to explain to the guy that I didn't leave, but I can't. And he's like, "Where did you drive in from?" And I'm like, "Over there." And I was like, "So when I pick her up in like a week, is there an easier way to do it?" He goes, "Yeah, the parking lot behind me." Like you're like such an idiot.
Nice.
And now I'm back alone. No
nice.
girlfriend.
And Oren came to pick me up with his vehicle, and he's just sitting outside my apartment with sunglasses on, eating McDonald's like a fucking DEA agent, just on a sting operation, just like waiting for his fucking mark to walk by. Like, we got him, boys.
It took literally a total of
12 minutes
before I went straight to McDonald's. And she's gonna hear this, and she's not gonna be pleased. I love you, but she knows. She knows that it's just gonna be almost like how many
whole
meals?
week, man.
We're gonna see. I'm gonna try.
Is McDonald's one of the Uber options where you can like build up points for ordering multiple times or whatever, or like skip the dishes, and then you just like
but
you're gonna build a McDonald's portfolio and just
being better lately. Like I'm not Uber and Eats in it as much.
Uber and Eats,
and I'm much more just driving straight to the drive-through.
Yeah. Save that extra $6.
Dude, it's been bad. Hard times. Good for McDonald's. Good times for McDonald's. Yeah, between the Uber company and McDonald's, they like have all my money. So congratulations, boys.
I just remembered when I took a bus across the border, and there were these 2 like Belarusians on board the bus, and they made us wait for like 2.5 hours at the fucking border because like the border guards were like, "What are you doing here?" Ooh. Belarus. It's like the only European country with like a dictator still. What are you doing here?
We do nothing. None of your
we
business.
Just want to see Vermont.
It's not your business. Business.
And it was weird because like that 2.5 hours we waited on the bus, like it was right after I graduated high school from the States, so I had a lot of buddies in Vermont, New Hampshire, and stuff because the school was in New Hampshire.
How are you getting across the border? Just in car?
What do you mean, sir?
You're just in the car?
I was in a bus.
Oh, in the bus,
Because I was going to
sorry.
go see some friends
Yes.
after I graduated.
Yes.
And the whole time I was like, wouldn't it be weird if I saw this one guy, Schmidt, like this Schmidt guy that I played hockey with? Well, I don't know why. I thought I would see him. And then we pull into fucking Montpelier or Burlington bus station, and he pulls in at the exact same time, and his girlfriend was on the bus with me.
That's crazy.
It was so fucking weird.
That's weird that you
yeah.
thought that.
It was weird that I thought I would see him, then I saw him right after.
That is strange.
Schmidt, if you're listening, he's not listening.
And meanwhile, these guys are like, we're here to see Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders.
That's what it was.
And soft ice cream. we like Ben and Jerry.
Ben and Jerry's rules,
Yeah.
dude.
My name is actually Jerry. Jerry and Bean. That's
I love Ben
great.
and Jerry's.
Yeah, I don't know. The border always gets. I'm always nervous because I'm probably high, and there's residue of anal everywhere, and like they're gonna know.
They can ban you.
Yeah, exactly. I had a vape pen like right there.
Oh, you're an idiot.
And I was like, oh, they're gonna see it. Like this is dumb. And the whole time, like as I'm building myself, the second I get there, it's like I'm so close to being like, the second the window rolls down, to be like, not high, what? You know? Okay, sir.
One time I drove. Me and my 3 buddies road trip to Nashville. So we drove to, I guess it was Thousand Islands border or whatever.
Yeah.
And at the border, he asked us all if we got arrested ever. And the driver, my buddy, goes, "Not really."
Oh my God.
What kind of, what are you, fucking idiot? And then after, when he lets us go through, we're like, "What do you mean, not really?" He's like, "Well, one time I got detained for fireworks at 14. It's like, that's not what he meant.
Yeah.
That's not what he wanted to know. Have you ever stabbed someone? That's what he doesn't want to let into the country.
He's nervous that they're gonna see that on his record.
Yeah.
Like, why did you say never?
Yeah.
What about when you were 14 and enjoyed pops, huh?
I went to high school. The first English high school I went to in Laval for like 6 months was right next to a flea market. I don't know what zoning genius thought that was a good idea.
The gypsies.
It's fucking no, like, you know, a shitty flea market. Like
Yeah.
they sold like Dragon Ball Z, like a fire T-shirt, you know, the Hawaiian shirts or whatever that all the anime nerds would wear.
Yeah.
And knives and a fucking just so many fireworks. So we would just set off fireworks in the woods behind the school every day at lunch.
That's a safe place to do it, in the woods.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing flammable.
There was a
there.
fire once. It was right next to a fire station. So we you know, location.
Never got into fireworks, I guess.
No?
I was too good Jewish boy for
Yeah, right.
fireworks.
Just doing heroin.
Yeah, I was too busy doing heroin. Oh
Yeah.
my God. So actually that makes me think of a story.
Okay.
Remember that time we were doing heroin at the park, and you were like, we don't need 2 needles. And I was like, Jason.
Yeah, what about it?
No, so I do. I once had this because I was once working at a kind of a shady, it was kind of a famous shady pub in Montreal that opened a second location because they thought they were that big. And it was
Why
in
don't
this,
you just say it?
the Peel Pub.
Oh, okay.
And they opened the second location within the AMC, the Forum.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a Peel Pub where the Comedy Nest now
Yeah,
resides?
so you know where the restaurant is, not the like where you go use the bathroom,
Oh, like the yeah, okay.
where the arcade is.
Yeah, where the arcade is.
So
yeah.
under the floor under, but attached to that
Okay.
place is a restaurant, and then
Yeah.
the upstairs is an arcade. It was like
Yeah.
a 2-floor restaurant
Yeah.
at one point. So I worked at that restaurant, but it was called Peel Pub. Peel Pub bought it, and it was run by the Peel Pub people. And
You
they
know
had-
how you have a bar named after a street? What you want to do is bring it to another location,
Yeah.
not on that street.
and call it and it's not a pub, and it's
And
not on Peel, but guess what it's called? And I worked there for a while, and it was one of my first restaurant jobs. Like I just come back from being in the Middle East for a bit, and I came back.
Well, that
and,
sounds ominous. Okay.
and
The Twin Towers fell, and I came back,
all
and
the
the plan
plans were
worked,
complete.
and
everything went swimmingly.
Yeah.
And so I came back, and it was just about like 2002. And I started working at this restaurant, and
Yeah.
that's where it was. And they gave me a waiter job without even asking any questions. Didn't even know any French. It was great. It was so crazy. It was run by like a manager who was like the son of Who Cares,
Right.
and he like didn't know what he was doing, but loved being the manager. And this place was so bad that you'd get like 10 return plates a night. Like that was
That's
pretty
bad, I'm
regular. Like
guessing,
about
yeah.
almost 10 people would request their money back every single day. And the great thing about that is that if one night only 3 people asked for their money back, then you could just tell the manager that 10 people asked for their money back, and he would just give you the money, no problem. He'd be like, he wouldn't even ask questions. He'd be like,
just
he'd be
cash, like
he'd
give
be
it back to the fucking customer.
No, opposite. So they would take it off of your computer that you owe money at the end of the night.
Oh,
So if
okay.
somebody paid you pure cash, you could just go up to your manager and
You're
be
like,
like,
they asked for their money.
they were pissed, they wanted their money back. He'd be like, fine. He would take it off, so you would just cash that and put it in your pocket. And I eventually told my two buddies, and we were just doing that. So I wonder why it didn't work out the place. We were all stealing.
You're just stealing blindly from, I guess, the son of a rich man. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. So I was I started dating this girl who came in out of nowhere, started working there. She wasn't even like a. She was from Winnipeg, but like they didn't even ask any questions, so they just let her work there.
Right.
And I started dating her, and then two of my buddies worked there, and then there was this other strange dude we had just met, and he was pretty cool. Like the day he walked in, he was like tall, he had tattoo sleeves.
He had sleeves on.
He had sleeves on. No, he didn't have sleeves on, but he had tattoo sleeves, and he was well coiffed and buttoned up, you know.
Right.
But I've never seen someone deteriorate so much, week after week after week.
Yeah.
Like it went from like that, yeah, exactly, and then started having these red bumps like randomly,
Oh,
and then
God.
he was the type of guy that would show up with just the scab out of nowhere, just like why do you have that scab on your neck or near your head?
So he's doing meth or some shit.
So I had no idea, and then one night like the place finally closed. They went bankrupt. They like screwed us all out of our checks, but told us that we could have one final goodbye party when everything was closed. We could drink anything that was left in the bar. Use all the arcades.
Okay, yeah.
Pretty much the AMC Forum was closed for us to just use for a night. And it was debaucherous. And this guy was like, hey, let's do some Coke. And we were like, all right. And he bought Coke for everybody.
Right.
And it was fun. But then he was like, I'm going to do my Coke over there. I do it through a needle. It's a bit different. And no one asked any questions. Like, yeah, Coke through needle. That's how people do Coke. Like, I didn't really think about it twice.
Freebasing cocaine, does that work? Is that what freebasing is?
No.
No, freebasing is, yeah.
You
Is
little,
it? I don't know.
cute
I
boy.
forget.
You're such a cute boy.
Don't call me a cute boy.
No, freebasing is like when you like put it like when you put like a rock on like a tinfoil and then you light it up.
Oh,
and
you smoke it. Okay.
Out of a straw.
I always get my injections and my smoking confused.
Yeah, I know. So, anyways, he was doing weird shit like that, right?
Okay.
That was the craziest night, and that's not even the story I wanted to get to, but it was the craziest night. Like my girlfriend at the time was like, I think she used to love Coke and hadn't done it in months, and I didn't know that. I almost the type of person that's done it a little bit here and there.
Right.
And she was getting so crazy, and I was trying to like not get her to do it all on her own. And then she got so mad at me for taking the bag away from her that she ran into the bathroom, like yelling and screaming. So I went into the bathroom to see what was going on. I opened up the stall door where she was in, and she was doing it off of the floor.
What
man.
a fucking
Like,
animal! I was about to
fucked.
say she sounds like the Tasmanian devil,
Dude,
but for Coke.
Someone came out of there, and I was like, "Who the fuck are you?" Like I have been having fun with this person for a few weeks, and I just couldn't believe.
Oh, you were dating for a few weeks at that point.
Yeah, we dated for a few weeks. We weren't doing any
Okay,
drugs, and
right.
then all of a sudden the drugs come out, and you see a whole new person. You know, you're like, "Holy shit! I'm not ready to live Pulp Fiction." Okay, I'm not in the mood to have that kind of. I'm gonna have to take this guy's needle, stick it in your heart. I don't want to deal with any of it. But the reason I tell this whole story is
please.
This guy disappeared. Okay, after I stopped working there, I never saw him again. Right, but when I worked there, we
But then
hung
you
out.
saw him under the bridge giving hand jobs for $5 a piece.
That would be great because I probably would have at least gotten a hand job out of it. But what actually happened was I was one day in IGA while it was
Grocery
almost
store.
closing. Yeah, a grocery store, superfoods. What do you guys call it over?
Grocery store.
The Kuwaiti Mart.
Oh yeah, the Kuwaiti Mart.
And I'm in there, and I'm just like trying to get something. They're closing up. I get that anxiety when it's very obvious everyone wants to go home in there.
Yes, of
they
course.
see you walk in, like fuck you, buy something and leave.
Right.
So while I'm going through, I randomly in one of these aisles bump into the guy I haven't seen in a while, and he looks better, but his nails are so dirty, and he's wearing like a classic hilarious trench coat. Like it just looks like he's gonna sell watches or something, or he's butt naked under there. One of those two things are the only
Just
options.
opens it up and it's just more heroin needles.
Yeah, exactly. Or he's trying to sell me the letter O. I have no idea, but it's one of those
Is that
things.
a joke I don't get?
Sesame Street, man, by the letter O. You never knew that?
I don't remember, dude.
Man, that's a great joke for my generation. So he's acting really weird. He's very stressed out, and he's like, I'm trying to find the spaghetti sauce, a specific sauce. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, gotta find it for my girlfriend. I'll be right back. And then I'm like, okay. I haven't seen this guy in forever. He was obsessed with me when I kind of like backed out of it because he was being weird. So I was really strange that he was trying to get away from me at the time, right? But then I'm trying to find what I'm trying to get, a few things, and I see this guy in every aisle. Like he's like going through every aisle, running around. He looks like
Just go to the spaghetti aisle.
Yeah, he's being so weird.
Above every aisle there's a thing that says ethnic, and that's usually where you get your spaghetti.
He disappears. I don't see him again in the aisles. Don't even bump into him in the cash, which I found weird. And then I leave, and I'm just walking towards my house. And
you just see like a sewer grate pop open. He's like, "Hey, Oren!"
He's me and the turtles. We're eating some pizza. So I start walking maybe a few minutes, and I get Oren. And I'm like, what? and I see he's like on the corner of the street kind of being sketched. I was like, what's up? And he's like, sorry about that, man. I didn't want to like shun you off. And I hear all this clanging going on. Like he sounds like the bells of Notre Dame are like
right.
in his ass.
Yeah.
Okay, like, I have no idea what's going on. and then he goes, he's like, check this out, and he's like very proud of himself, and he opens up his jacket. He's got like 10 bottles of shit wine, just like in like.
You're like, what happened to the spaghetti sauce, dude? You had a plan. Stick to the plan.
He's got wine. He's got like containers for the wine. Like he's like made this jacket. He stitched it himself.
He's got like one of those like all those like artillery shells or whatever.
Yeah.
Like a
like a Rambo fucking.
Yeah, what is it? Just like bullets and all that shit. Whatever.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
he's ready to go to war.
He's got a tactical belt. With wine.
I just don't even know how he did it. And I'm like, so you're drinking a lot these days, you know? That's what I was like. My instant reaction was, he goes, oh, no, and I'm like, okay, so dumb for me to think that.
Yeah. Why would I ever think that, dude?
Why would that come to my mind? And then he's like, no, I sell these to the dep.
I fucking no way. He sells it to the convenience store.
He had this shady dep. It's so funny to me that these deps have businesses where they just let like addicts come in with their stolen bottles of wine and actually sell
I'll give
it.
you $5 a pop.
Yeah,
for
$5 for this, and like obviously he's going to buy heroin with all that. The poor dude. And I just one of the funniest things just was seeing this dude with like fucking his whole jacket.
Well, you knew, like you had a good instinct to know that jacket was there for something, and it was to conceal.
It's just so funny.
white, shitty white wine.
Anyways, I hope you're doing well, sir.
What's his name? Don't say it.
I hope you've developed. It'd be funny if like next time I see him, he's like, I got into importing, exporting.
I feel like his name is actually Tetanus.
Yeah, I mean, really at the end there, it was like, I remember when I saw him, and like, again, I thought he looked all right because I just saw his face. His hair was cut, you know?
Right.
But it was like the second I just saw his hands, and there was just black under all his nails.
Yeah,
like,
you know that's not good.
You're instantly like,
it's like, you're not working landscaping, dude. I know you.
Yeah, there's no way you're just coming from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, such a funny fucking time in my life working at the Peel Pub.
How old were you?
It was probably like early 20s, like 22, something like that. And they like...
So 25 years ago.
And they literally like they just fucking went bankrupt one day. Like one day we all knew something weird was going on, and then the owner, like we knew the guy who owned it, came in the middle of the afternoon shift, just
emptied the cash registers in his pocket.
He did something like that at the cash, went to the bar and just opened the most, like this whiskey that was on display
right,
at the top,
like the
top
Glenlivet
of
or
the
whatever
bar.
the fuck,
yeah, and like lit up by a display and just took it off, opened it, and just started drinking it. And we're like, I think this is bad news. And I was so dumb, and I got a learning lesson from that because in my head the tips were great. I was a kid, I didn't need that much money,
right.
So all the checks in my head was just like savings, like I could just keep all the checks. I didn't have to cash them because the check is cash to me, But that's when you learn the hard way that they went bankrupt. I didn't cash one check.
No way.
So I had like well over $3,000, $4,000 of checks that I never cashed because I was so dumb.
That's the stupidest
and then
thing
just
I've
they
ever
went.
heard in my
And
life.
then the day that guy came in and drank that, the next day we came to work and there was a sign that said closed for flooding issues, and we're like,
yeah, there's cash flooding out of your pockets, you
exactly.
bitch.
The laundry machine broke. You know what I mean? And then I knew it, so I went straight to the bank, tried to cash them. They all bounced, and I got fucked out of the money.
Sucks,
a year and a half.
You can, like in Canada, you can call like an ombudsman or some shit.
Yeah, you have to pay for it, but eventually there was a group that went after, like I think 3 or 4 of the employees were smart enough to go after, and then they created a group. They found any employee that got fucked, and we all got a portion of our money back.
Okay, that's not bad.
Years later, which was nice, but yeah, it's such a crazy time. So now
I've never had a job like that. I got nothing on that, baby.
I think in the restaurant you meet some crazy, coworkers.
There's a lot of turnover, and there's a lot of ex-cons, and there's a lot of addicts, and there's a lot of
second chances in the restaurant industry.
Chances.
This is my second chance.
Which I love. Let's give them all knives. You know what I mean?
This is my opportunity to make better. It's always that one person who after every shift, and everyone's having a beer, and he's like orange juice, and you're like, oh, this guy's got a dark past. This guy, he's drinking
court mandated juice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
pretty fucked.
No, I've never worked anything like that. But money laundering, huh? There's a convenience store right next to my place that everyone's like, that's a money laundering front. It's like, who gives a shit? They have good beer. You know what I mean? Like they have the best selection of beer. Where I'm not gonna give them my money just because it's going somewhere else. I don't give a shit.
It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
I was thinking,
get me a sour beer anywhere else in the city. You know
speaking of insurance, did you ever tell you the time at the restaurant I worked at where the guy burnt it down?
No.
That's a
No.
great one also. I worked at a restaurant where this guy just bought it, and then almost like months later, several months later, I'm like having a cigarette on my friend's balcony in like lower, no, like not Westmount, but like DeCarry kind of area.
Yeah.
And
you see smoke
and I
coming
literally
out.
smell a fire. And,
Right.
and I'm like, what's going on? So strange. And then about 30 minutes later, someone calls me and tells me, hey, the restaurant you work at is on fire.
What
And
restaurant
I
was this?
It was on Côte St. Luc Road.
Okay, yeah.
And I went, it was like a kosher restaurant. It was like, it's one of those spots. There's a lot of spots, I'm sure, in every city, but in Montreal, there's like 3 or 4 I could think of particularly that are relatively.
So the fire was blessed by a rabbi. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, exactly. It's kosher fire.
Yeah.
It was there's few spots in Montreal that are like they're like doomed. Like it's not a bad location, but anything that opens there is
Anything on DeCarry is fucked.
yeah,
First of all,
it's gonna. So anyway, so they tried. I get there and it's literally on fire. Okay, I'm trying to call my boss because I know the guy. I got a job because my father knew him. I'm trying to call this Israeli dude, and he's not picking up the phone. Just getting the
it's
answer
like
machine.
it's creditors. They're coming after my money.
It's just the answer machine being like, "Hello, is this
I
on?
know I owe
Is
you
this
money."
on? Is this on?" Beep. that was his, and it was.
I know I owe you money, but it's not coming out of my pocket.
This guy was a character. He was missing one finger. Like
Nice.
he only had the nub of his ring finger.
Right.
Because he
lost it in a pussy fingering accident.
he had his wedding ring on when he was trying to come down off of a roof, and he was trying to hang.
No.
Let go, but when he let go, his ring caught and just ripped his finger off. Yeah, and he came down, and now he has this thing where you don't notice it. You don't notice someone's missing finger like that
Until you shake their hand, they gently rub the
and that's what
nub.
he does every
No
time.
way.
And he always had this smile, like this
knowing smile.
this Katie Holmes side smile.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
Katie Holmes
yeah.
is like
Yeah,
down and so, he'd like do this flirty look, and you'd feel so uncomfortable.
I just think it. You touch too, yeah.
Yeah, so he was a crazy dude.
Yeah.
And so he's not picking up his phone. He always picks up his phone. He's not picking up. All of a sudden
He's
shows,
like, I have gasoline containers to return.
and it was very entertaining. This
Get
part,
it,
'cause-
dude? He was returning because he's cheap. He bought the gas containers to start a fire at his own restaurant, and
that's
he
funny.
returned them.
That's funny. Do the accent again. I like that one.
I don't know. What was it?
I got gasoline.
I got gas containers to return.
He's an Israeli man. He's not an Ashkenazi Jew.
Oh,
Hello, containers.
Yes,
These-
I barely use. There's only a little bit of gasoline.
So he shows up.
They're on fire. He's trying to return them a Canadian Tire.
Oh, I will say that these goddamn firefighters are hilarious. They are way too into themselves while they're firefighting. They know how sexy they look while they're doing it. They're putting on shows. There's tons of people watching.
so?
Do you ever
Oh,
see the showers that they set up in the middle of a fire?
No.
So they set up showers because it's very hot, so they go under to like cool down and stuff. But they are doing a whole shampoo commercial
Yeah,
every
they're
time.
rubbing Vaseline on their nipples.
Dude,
and
you
shit?
think they're trying to sell herbal essence? Do you
Okay.
know that? Do you
Yeah,
know
of
that
course.
commercial?
Yeah.
See, there you go. That's a pretty good reference.
It's a woman who's coming.
She comes while she's washing her
Comes
hair.
because she's washing her hair. So
She
good.
has a clitoris
It never-
on her inner scalp.
Yeah.
There's a clitoris in her
First of all,
scalp.
washing your hair does not feel as good if you're doing it yourself. Someone has to do it for you.
Yeah, I like it when you do it for me.
Yeah. When I rub your bald ass head.
It's just a head massage.
Ugh.
So he shows up finally, and he's the funniest acting you've ever seen. Just what is?
Oh my God! No.
Oh.
What is this a yellow thing and red a thing in the building?
I swear to God, every time he looked back at me, he had this smile still. Like he just couldn't hold his smile back the whole time. And the funniest part is that it was an electrical fire, and he's an electrician.
Okay.
And so it's just
He's like, what is a wire?
that place is so funny. Kosher food
Kosher
makes no
food.
sense. It's like I don't know if you know,
You
it's
sold salt,
yeah, it's a mafia. The whole thing is like there's a company.
salt and pickles.
There's this company that you have to pay to make your food kosher, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like to basically you have to, if you own a restaurant, you want to sell kosher food.
I just imagine that it's like the beginning of what's that movie, Snatch? It's just you walk into like it's a jeweler.
Yeah, it's pretty much
Just 7 rabbis are
yeah.
there, and they're like, "What can we help you with?"
As the good book says. So you have to hire someone from the kosher company that like has to work at your place all day, every day.
Everyone at the kosher company is just an accountant.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like we're doing numbers. One time I tried to like accident. I was like telling my buddy to move away. Like he's a waiter, and he was like hovering over food, and I with the knife as a joke, I'm like, move back, and the guy who is the kosher guard, the guard of kosherness, the fucking Guy Ritchie of kashrut over there, and he's like, what's that? And it's just like, and he saw me make a threatening move. He goes, now that knife's not kosher, and he literally takes it away from me, and he's really mad at me
And
because
just sticks it between his butt cheeks.
that's how you
bless a kosher thing.
Yeah, you just swipe it like a credit card through your cheeks.
Yeah.
And so he's like, that's not kosher anymore. You're gonna have you can't use it. And I'm like, that's crazy. I didn't do anything. Like I just pretended. And it's like that makes it unkosher. So he goes outside and he buries it in the earth and he says like a bunch of stupid hymns.
Yeah.
And then he comes back. He's like, here you go.
Here you go.
You can use it now. I go, now it's dirty. Okay?
Yeah, you gotta put it through the dishwasher, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, it's so weird. They don't even if you own a kosher restaurant, you don't have the keys to your meat fridge. Like they have the keys. You can only get it from
what a fucking
them.
good business, huh?
Dude, it's really fun. It's
I'm
such
gonna
a
get into it.
system.
I'm gonna get into it.
Yeah, man.
You want to restart the camera? Oren, what happens when we die? What happens when we die, Oren?
You know, it's funny.
Papa Oren, please tell me what happens when we die.
It's funny that you asked that. We used to have this technique in high school.
Yeah.
We'd all like when we had certain teachers in certain theology type classes that we knew that if we posed that question, the
class is done.
It's done.
You just get to sit back, cross your arms, cross your fingers, cross your legs, just do it all. Cross everything, baby. Cross your balls.
Is there actually a God, or what happens when you die, were the two big ones that if you ask them, like with 25 minutes left of class,
you just shut that book, baby.
But
you don't want to shut the book because then the teacher knows, he or she knows that it's like that's what the game is, you know?
Yeah. Well, what happens when I die is the world sinks into depression.
Right, yeah.
You go into mourning for a very long time.
I find a better podcast co-host. That's what happens when you die.
I'm listening it from heaven, just so annoyed.
You're like, fuck, they have good chemistry.
How are they still using my fucking theme song?
Also, why are they in my apartment? Continuity, baby. We need the brick wall.
I think I know that the Jews believe that you go to the Garden of Eden.
Right.
Or you go right outside.
Wait, you go to the Garden of Eden?
Yeah, that's heaven to us. The Garden of Eden.
Just a shitty, like a place in between amusement parks at Disney World?
Yeah, a place where you can't eat the apples.
Yeah.
Where all the apples are
You're
not
just tempted the whole time. Which is a bit like Earth, where you can't eat the bacon, which is the apple of the meats.
That's what they always say.
Apple of the meats is the episode title.
A piece of bacon a day keeps the doctor very close.
Yeah.
And either you go to the Garden of Eden or you go right outside the Garden of Eden and get to see that you didn't get to go in.
You just look in, you're like outside of a club all night.
Whoa.
Just like there's a huge bouncer. He's like, sorry, guys, we got our boys' quota in there.
Come on.
Tits only.
I didn't mean to jerk off that time.
Oh man, if they just showed you like a reel, like all the things that led you to not get into heaven, that'd be so fucking funny.
I always said, I've said this before. Hell is just watching me as a teenager make all these just do all these ridiculous things, lie to people just to get attention, like just watching it all and just having to relive.
I don't know why this popped into my head, but I remember I used to go to school for sports, but we lied about my address because you had to live within
you mentioned.
And so I would go to like my dad's like buddy from like high school would live right next to the school, and he would never be there, and I would just have key to his house. So after school, which finished at like 1 p.m., I just go and hang out, right?
Yeah.
And he was the first guy I knew who had all the channels, you know, like in the early 2000s. He had like that illegal box that had all the channels. So there'd be Ali G and shit.
Yeah.
I'd watch Ali G all the time. And they mentioned German porn on Ali G, and I went on his computer and I looked up German porn, and I fucked up his computer so bad.
Hilarious.
Just every virus in the world.
I like that you Googled German porn, like not just.
Well, because they mentioned on the show, and I was like, okay, what's German porn? Show me this stuff.
Scheiße porn.
I'm 14. Give it to me.
I think I've told the story on the podcast with my friend.
On the podcast?
I'm on the podcast.
Papa, give me the podcast.
On the guy the friend I know who brought the Scheiße porn from Germany to Canada as a gag gift to one of his friends.
I think you might have talked about this, but I can't remember.
And he got stopped at the border. He has a record for it because it's illegal.
It's illegal to bring it out or to bring it in?
To bring it in.
It's illegal to bring shit porn to Canada.
Yeah, exactly. It's not legal.
It's a natural thing. Everybody shits on their loved ones.
So he has it on his record, and
that's the best thing. Imagine not getting a job because it's like we see here.
It says here that you have an affinity for. Imagine you just get like a weird smile from the guy. He's like, so you're into Scheiße.
Sorry, we can't offer you a job here at the shit factory. So
What is that whole rumor of celebrities? There's a few. I think Stallone is one of them. There's a few of them that it goes.
I don't know
around
what you're talking about.
That they like to lie under a glass table while a woman shits on the glass table above them.
I don't know about them, but there's definitely that John McAfee documentary where there's just a dozen like Colombian ladies or whatever who are like, yeah, so I shit on him through a mattress.
That's why I made
through a hammock.
Is that through your mom's house that you saw? I forget
maybe,
where I saw
think it was
that,
your
but
mom's
it
house.
is
You're right.
Very, very
It's
funny.
just like a lady with like like some of them are like, oh my god, I feel disgusting, and like
Yeah.
he took advantage, and one lady's just like, yeah, I got paid to shit.
Yeah, she's like laughing. You know, like,
She's like, it was a lot of fun. It was
Dude,
the easiest money in the world.
I would do it too.
Yeah.
I would do it if you paid me good money.
Shit on someone?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, feed me too much cheese, baby, and I'll do it for you.
I mean, I don't know. Once had a woman ask me to pee on her,
Ugh.
and I was like, I don't know about that. That feels weird.
I know there's a couple that that used to be together that we both know, and I'll tell you later. But within like a month of dating, they had both pissed on each other.
Oh my god. I don't understand.
Imagine going that far that fast.
Okay, let me just say, a guy getting peed on is a whole new level because you have to lie under her. Like it's a whole. You need like one of those things that when you're a mechanic and you work under a car.
Just that long skateboard,
Yeah,
that door of a skateboard.
You need to roll under.
It's
with
my
one of
shit
those.
board, baby.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I done it in the shower for a laugh,
As a joke.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Being like, why?
That's a great prank.
Yeah, it's
why is
very
it
funny.
Why is it two different temperatures right now?
I'm very funny like that.
Oren, did you pay the electricity bill? Why is it? Why is it oscillating temperatures?
Dude, one time, my sister was coming from Israel, and she was like going to stay with me, and I had not paid
And
my
you
heating
pissed
bill.
on her?
I had not paid my heating bill for like weeks, and they
Yes.
actually turned my electricity off.
No, I didn't know they were
While
allowed to
she
do
was
that
there,
here.
it
It's
just
like
happened live, and I was like, "Well, that's weird." And I was like checking but in my head, I knew. I was like, "Oh, this is real." And it's right before it gets too cold. That's the last day they're allowed to turn your.
yeah,
power
that's what I was
off.
gonna say.
Yeah, they have a day like
Don't
it's probably
they-
in October where they're like officially.
Yeah, but then they have to give it back to you after, or what?
Yeah, they'll have to turn it back on a certain date.
Okay.
But they turned it off, and it was going to be like weeks. And my girlfriend, my sister was staying there, and I felt really
sister
like
girlfriend?
I just felt awful. So she tried to stay the night because she didn't want to make me feel bad. So we're like
Right.
sitting there, and, like we're like talking by a candle, by a menorah.
Ebenezer Scrooge was behind you, like, have you
Yeah.
guys seen any ghosts?
Yeah, and she's like freezing, pretending she's fine. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, let's take you to my mother's. This is ridiculous. Very embarrassing.
Yeah, no kidding.
But Jason, what do you think happens when you die?
You know what, Oren? I don't know. No, I don't know, man. Like, isn't there that thing? Like, here's the thing: is that I conflate so many ideas of like science and like religion, and
Yeah.
like I think I've heard that like energy cannot be destroyed. So what happens when you die? Right? You got like your molecules somewhere, and then like, is there consciousness in the molecules? Probably not. Who knows?
We don't know.
You know? I think isn't there that theory that the world is on the back of a turtle or some shit? There you go.
Yeah,
We're
I
on the
believe
back
that.
of a turtle.
We're on the back of a turtle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just floating through cosmic space.
Reincarnation would be.
That would be-
I'd be so pissed.
Yeah?
I'd be livid if I just woke up back up as anything.
Just that plant right there, just looking like a piece of shit.
Can you imagine you came back as a plant? Oh, that would be
Oh my
so brutal.
Oh, you remember when I used to run that show at that like DIY space, Called the Plant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Remember, I used to have to go in.
Lesbians United.
It was just nothing but armpit hair as far as the eye could see. It's a great spot. The people
Yeah.
that lived there were lovely. It was like 9 people living in like different closets and shit. It was
They all
very
wore
weird.
black tank tops and cargo pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but one time I was setting up for the show. It was a great show. It was a lot of fun to do it there. But they were all fucking hippies.
They were
and,
hippies.
and one time I moved a plant out of the way because it was on the middle of the stage, and she was
Jeffrey.
like, "Dude," she come up and she's like, so you know how plants don't like to be moved, right?" And I was like, "No one knows that. What are you talking about?" What are you saying right now?
Yeah.
Plants don't like to be moved.
Yeah.
You know that this plant had to be moved to get here, right?
Yeah.
It didn't just grow out of your hardwood floor, you stupid idiot. Plants don't like to be moved. Suck my fucking ass.
I hate that shit. It would annoy me. But you know what's funny? I love the idea of you getting because you're just smiling. And
I was
you
like,
just
yeah, I
refuse to
know
be
that.
mean.
Yeah. Also, it was like 50 pounds. I wasn't going to move it back. You know what I mean? This is where the plant lives now, is to the right of the stage, not in the middle of it.
That's so funny. Yeah, that
I
was
like
an
that-
okay place. There was a
that-
train right next to
Yeah,
it.
there was a train track next to it. So every show was a monthly kind of, I think monthly or every 2 months kind of show.
Yeah.
And every show, there was one person who had the train spot, which meant that there was a train passing by for their entire set.
Yeah.
And you
that's
never knew
brutal.
who was going to get it.
I lived with a train in my backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very close. Like we had a nice backyard.
It was
but-
a amusement park for autistic children.
Yeah, we had a big backyard and then a bunch of trees, and right behind the trees was the train tracks. Like our whole house shook. But you got used to it after. Like,
yeah, that's what I hear
after a few
about
years.
like people who live near airports or like trains. Like you just get used to it.
Yeah, but it was also I once dated a girl who I convinced. I don't know why I was so. I love to like try to convince people of ridiculous things and make them feel dumb. I convinced her that on the other side of that was the United States of America. When you could see the Côte St. Luc shopping center. You could see it.
It's the Cavendish Mall.
Yeah, it was like the Cavendish Mall was right there, but I could convince her.
You just see 19 Jews come out of it like, we got a deal again.
Just because there's train tracks. She was like,
Yeah.
yes. I also once convinced a girl that you know those little ginseng bottles or like you know what I'm
At
talking
the
about.
gas station.
Yeah, they're tiny little with metal tops and they have tiny straws that you poke into them.
Okay.
I made her think that they were like heroin or something, and I
That
was
they
like,
just sold at the gas station?
yeah, but I just wanted to see if she would be about like if I'd be like, here, we'll try it, you know, and like I was like getting her ready with a belt, you know, and she was like, okay, I guess. I was like, somehow
She's just that down to
and
do
then,
heroin?
yeah, and then I was like, I'm joking. She's like, oh, okay.
That was a good joke, Oren.
Yeah, it was. It's just like you're trying to see how far this person's gonna just listen and trust. I like to take advantage of people's trust. That's a great story.
Yeah.
Oren. Let people know that you like to take advantage of other people's trust. I don't think with girlfriends it's just fun to make fun of each other. You know?
Yeah, of course. I'm trying to think of something else I'd like to come back as. Definitely not anyone related to you.
That's not nice.
That's okay.
It's because you want to be able to still have sex with me and not. Be
Yeah, that's it.
I
That's
get it.
exactly
Yeah,
it.
that makes
Yeah.
sense. That makes
Still?
sense. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I once dated a girl who was like all into like you know like someone that got a hobby that you don't love but you have to kind of just encourage it anyways.
Yeah.
So she was into dancing, but it was like the kind of dancing she chose. She chose Vogue. Do you know Vogue?
No.
Okay, so Vogue.
I mean, I the Madonna song.
No, okay, so the Madonna song is like how most people would think Vogue. So I was like, okay, you're just gonna move your hands around your head in a square over and over and over again.
Yeah.
You're just gonna have sex with Dennis Rodman. What's the whole thing?
Right.
But Vogue is very much a trans community type thing, which is something
I had no idea.
Yeah, so it is. It's like it's their dance. Like I don't know the history. I'm not gonna pretend to know the history, but the music is outlandish. It's
I'm sorry, what?
You know that
Outlandish
I skipped,
Morissette?
that I skipped over that word because I don't know it properly.
Outlandish?
And I would appreciate it next time.
That's actually it's where every gay person lives is outlandish.
Outlandish. So she was is outlandish a word? Yes. So she was very outlandish. The music is very outlandish.
I think you're saying every word more and more wrong as you keep talking.
Outlandish.
There you go.
She was and that's why I make the mistake. Anyways, so the music is hilarious because it's
Okay.
just like hard techno style music,
Yeah.
but the lyrics are always like pussy, pussy, beat that pussy, 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 beat that pussy, beat it, beat that pussy.
Okay, I don't like this.
And it's the craziest thing because you're listening to it and you're like, I don't understand how this is empowering to anybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because technically, like, whatever. And the dances are weird to say the least, right? Like,
Can you give us an example?
well, I can't because I don't want to stand up and do the splits and like lift my leg over my head.
Right.
They do this one move because they do a lot of like hand movements. Like this is not dancing to me, but this is Vogue. Okay, a lot of Vogue
Okay.
is.
This is great for our audio listeners.
It's just doing. You know, you probably don't, but Canadians
Skidamarinky
will know the
dinky-dink.
skidamarinka dink and the
Right.
skidamarinka.
I don't know the dance to that either.
Skidamarinka dinky dink. Skidamarinka.
Oren is just going back to his
love you.
natural
We'll see
stance
you
of
next
limp
week.
wristing, wristing in front of his face.
Love you.
Okay.
And so this was the dance, but everyone who does it is trans, except for my
Everyone.
girlfriend.
Okay.
So it was a bit weird because everyone would be we'd be hanging out, and then she'd start talking about being a Vogue dancer.
Okay.
And
this
then-
is back in the day, or your current girlfriend?
Not my current girlfriend. No. This is no.
She leaves the country, and you reveal all her secrets.
And then we'd leave. She'd leave, and I'd still be hanging out with my friends. They're like, "Oh, so you're dating a trans?" And I was like, "What? No, what? Not that doesn't. Not that it was a no. What? No, but not that no. But
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
No, you know." And then it's like everyone
So
thought
she was culturally
trans.
appropriating the trans
Yeah,
dance.
and then they would like compliment me on her transition.
She's looking really good. Like, that's her normal.
Yeah, I mean her arms are a bit hairy, but still, I think that eventually falls out. I'm like, actually,
It's gonna get worse.
yeah, it's just more
She's
that way.
from the Greek island of Herapopolis.
That's good.
Yeah. I didn't like it. I didn't like.
I
my
came
own thing.
across that joke you once sent me naturally. You once sent me Nick Mullen's joke in the roast on
Oh yeah.
the Greek god diabetes.
Yeah, that's a great joke.
It's so fucking funny.
If you go look for it.
Yeah, no, honestly, two of the funniest roasts in the world. One's Nick Mullen and Stavros, and the other one is Jason versus Oren.
Yeah, a year ago tomorrow or something.
Yes,
we did it. That was fun. It was fun to roast each other.
It was a good one. You kicked my ass, but it was fun.
It was fun to do.
I
can't we did the Art Loft radio podcast,
Yes.
and they had me repeat some of the, and also I volunteered to repeat some of the
Yes.
roast jokes.
Like, I got it.
I am unable to recreate. I can't deliver a joke that I've written like on a podcast.
Yeah,
it's
no, it's not
impossible. It's impossible for me to do it. It sounded so good on stage, and I said it on the podcast, and they all looked at me like,
It's also in the moment.
Yeah.
You know, it's like. It's also everyone hated me there.
Like I told the joke about you, like I'm not Jewish, but I'm a little bit Jewish because you bit me during the full moon.
Yeah.
And then they all looked at me like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah. But no, that's
You're
the
a were-Jew.
A were-Jew, yeah. That's the one where the big. That's also where one of the judges.
Yeah, helped me out a lot by tagging my joke with were-Jew.
It was a good moment.
Yeah.
It was fun though. I had a good time.
It was fun.
I would roast again.
Yeah, if I had a month to write, not a week like the rest of those fucking
that's
roasts in that tournament.
I don't know. There are times where I could just watch a bunch of stand roasts, like a few of them. You know, they get annoying after a while. The stand on YouTube.
On YouTube, yeah. I mean, it's very Like once you watch 5 roast battles, you've pretty much got every single joke.
There's one where like these two guys, I don't even remember
write.
who they are, but both of them have like dead parents, and they just are going after, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's great, but like how, like I don't know, how many times can you do that joke? You know what I mean?
Good point.
And I don't know why there's so many like recurring themes. Like I don't know why Willy Wonka always shows up in a roast battle.
Yeah.
There's always like a Willy Wonka joke for some reason.
That's true.
Winnie the Pooh shows up a lot. And I don't know. It's just weird
I never noticed
how
that.
people are so stuck in like a structure.
Yeah, it's because we hear the same jokes over and over
Yeah,
again.
I guess you just like keep those as your touch points or whatever. Doesn't matter. There was something else you want to talk about, but I forgot now. Oh yeah, I rewatched The Jinx because my girlfriend had never seen it.
Yes,
the great HBO documentary, The Jinx, with
I killed them all,
Rob.
of
Yeah,
course.
and it's so weird though how he does talk a bit like not to bring up Trump, but he does have like the same speech pattern as Trump, which is like, do you just learn how to talk like that if you grow up with millions of dollars in New York City? Is that just how you talk?
I think it's ever since Trump that I've started noticing that type of pattern of speech when someone like, it's good, it's very good, it's the best. Like the way they just keep on adding like an adjective over and over again and repeating it.
Yeah.
You notice it.
It's like
much
you're
more.
constantly selling.
Yeah.
That's all you're doing. It's
Exactly.
just you're constantly like propping up. Like, just take a breather, dude.
It's hilarious. That's it. Who can't shut up, can't stop talking, and can't have a script by any means. Like that's the thing about Trump. It's funny is that he just can't. He doesn't want a script. You know, I mean, my whole growing up, no president said anything in front of a camera that they didn't practice before.
Of course, yeah.
But he has no interest in
amazing.
practicing anything. He doesn't even want the papers that people are giving him. He's like, no, I'm good.
Off the top of my dome, baby. He's like a battle rapper.
He'll say whatever he wants. He doesn't put his foot in his mouth in his head. You know.
Yeah.
If we were him, we'd be like, oh my god. But him, he just rolls. Everything rolls over him. It's kind of beautiful. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's probably the best. I love that. I love that move of being like, look, I did good. You know what? Probably the best. I probably did the best. I am the best.
I don't know. I just The Jinx, baby. It's good stuff.
It is crazy because he's a valid psychopath. Like he's just a crazy little boy.
I mean, every murder is so special that he committed.
But the fact that he left his mic on, went to the bathroom
After not only that, but like in the second episode, in the first interview he did with Jarecki or whatever the guy's name is, the director.
Yeah.
His lawyer.
Directy.
His lawyer came up to them and was like, we heard everything you just said, right? Because your mic is hot.
Yeah.
You know that just happened. He's like, oh, right. I was just practicing for later.
Also, I just love that he's in the bathroom looking at himself. I killed them all. Of course, like,
Yeah, just
what kind of
taking a piss. Just
psychopath
like,
are you?
just burping up and going like, yeah, I killed them all.
It's like he was practicing to be Heath Ledger's Joker or something.
Yeah.
It's just like, how do you go that nuts? Documentaries like that are good. That one's a very straightforward one. I kind of like the ones that make you question a little bit what actually happened. Like my girlfriend and I have a straight-on fight. Like the first date we ever went on, we've argued about the staircase one.
Yeah.
If he murdered his wife. Now, I always say that like definitely he did. I don't think there's much of a question. I think there's no like the chances of you in your life standing at the bottom of a staircase with a dead woman twice in your life
Yeah.
are not great. And even if it's just a coincidence, like I was telling you before, send him to jail for the coincidence.
Just
you know?
for, yeah.
If you're the one out of a million, you're
I
going
don't
to go to
know.
jail for
I
it.
think that we should dispatch our best owl police and go find the owl that murdered that woman.
And my girlfriend will stick to that point too and like seriously
There's
tell
owl
me.
DNA in the skull.
Oh my God, it's so stupid. It's ridiculous. He's just so he has moments where he's like, what? Like he does that thing. Like he'll do triple
But
takes.
he's such like a likable dad for some reason.
Oh, I don't think so.
You don't like him?
No, I think he's like, yeah, I had sex with other men. Yeah, and she did. She
I
knew about
forgot
it.
about that actually.
She knew about it, and she loved it. Actually,
She-
she encouraged it. Actually, she was so like it.
She held my dick as I fucked other men in the ass.
Like I don't think he was I don't know. I just think that there's. First of all, it's always the husband. It's always the goddamn husband.
Yeah, there's not enough documentaries about broads who kill.
Yeah,
actually, there is a show on Netflix called Nurses Who Kill, and it's fucking Pierce Morgan's stupid face being like, "I hate
obviously.
women." Here's some who are bad.
Here are the killers. Classic women. I don't know. Women kill their kids, men kill their wives.
Yeah, that's a good takeaway from this episode.
I'm pretty sure that's the structure. I don't think there's much more to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. French people are different also. I think there's like a different,
What? Sorry, what?
There's a different vibe in the French. The men are just more evil all around in the French community.
French?
In the Quebecois. I mean, like in our neck of
okay.
the woods, I feel like
I thought you were just starting a non sequitur, just be like, yeah, French people are different.
No, I was just thinking, yeah.
They got extra teeth.
Like isn't the Jolie was the little girl who
Angelina?
no the little model one who no one knows who killed.
John Benet Ramsey?
John Benet Ramsey.
Yeah.
She Quebecois?
No, she's from like Colorado or some shit.
Well, there you go.
You just saw John Benet and you thought she was like Marianne's
Yeah, exactly.
Jose's daughter or whatever.
Yeah,
the fuck.
who's our famous one? Carla Homolka. She's the famous Montreal.
Carla
model.
Homolka.
She like lives next door or something.
Yeah, she lives like she got out of prison. Carla Homolka. I think her story was that her and her boyfriend lured her sister and fucked her and killed her.
Yeah, and a few other people too.
And
Yeah.
then she got released, and then people were like contacting the newspapers and be like, she lives out, like she's my neighbor now, and everyone got angry. At
I
her.
just saw her at Pizza Hut. I don't like it. She
Yeah.
shouldn't be allowed at Pizza Hut. You know,
What do? You go live in like a fucking village with other killers who've been released?
that's probably what should happen. I don't know. It's just so weird.
Imagine that community.
Yes.
Just like it comes like tax time. It's like, okay, how do we use our tax money? And they're like, knives. Got to increase the knife budget.
Yeah, I don't know.
What about water? Yeah, water with lead in it.
We'd have a pretty famous community. We'd have her. We'd have the cat killer. What's his name?
Yeah, Luca Magnotta. He's
Luca
not getting out
Magnotta.
anytime soon.
Hope not. But I mean, like, that's crazy that she gets out for like she killed and lured and raped her sister, and he.
Yeah,
what did
but
he
women
do?
get it easy.
I mean, yeah, I guess so.
I was just kidding.
Did you hear that noise? It was awkward.
Yeah, don't touch that. What the fuck is that?
We're learning about.
We're
new-
in the middle of.
Yeah.
We're in Interstellar right now. We're in
Yeah.
the fourth dimension.
Yeah, we're making full.
We're in the dimension of love.
My girlfriend hates Anne Hathaway so much.
I know we've talked about this. Don't
Okay.
talk about it again.
I'm running out of podcasting.
No, we're good.
So
dude. We've
much.
done an hour. We're fine.
We're there. Well, thank you so much for listening.
Listen. Okay. Here's the thing.
Tell 'em.
I'm
Jason.
seeing on the map.
Jason?
We got listeners.
Jason, go ahead and tell them.
We got listeners in North Carolina. We got one guy in North Carolina. Tell the other people in North Carolina to listen.
Yeah.
Okay. If you like it.
You're in the good
Do it, man.
Carolina, okay?
Yeah.
You're in the better of the Carolinas.
I guess.
Also, like you can rate us on if you're listening to this, just right now, go right into the rating thing on whatever.
Apple.
Yeah, and just be like, hey, this was pretty good, and give it whatever you think it deserves, but also give it 5
Give
stars.
it 5
'cause-
stars, baby.
But you think it deserves 5 stars because you're listening this late.
We haven't done an hour, by the way.
Where are we?
Like probably 50.
50's not bad.
Yeah, it's good.
I think we're doing all right.
Yeah, we did an hour and 17 last week, which is way too much free podcast.
Yeah, the podcast is popping off. Okay, I want everyone to know that we're not
Only on the in the avenues that you can't see whether it's doing good or bad.
exactly. It's an illusion. Okay?
But also, you know what? Fuck it, because I've seen channels with like 500 times the amount of subscribers we have who have double the views, and that's it.
we just need to bring it to a place where we feel love. It really has nothing to
Yeah.
do about monetizing.
And follow us on Instagram. Send us DMs. Show us your feet.
Yeah.
Oren likes feet.
I don't.
Oren. You know how they have like those like not just pocket pussies, but like the whole ass or whatever. You just got like feet like that.
It's like a roasted
You got
chicken. It
so-
pretty much looks like.
It's just calves, ankles, and foot and heels.
Yeah, I like that. That's not
Yeah,
bad.
that's gross.
Close-ups of your penis hole for Jason. He likes that.
Just the hole.
He doesn't know if it's like.
I don't want to see anything but the hole.
Exactly.
I want to see the inside.
Yeah, like a crater in Mars. It looks like.
Give me a catheter view.
Yeah, that's what we're into.
Gross.
So join us, love us, follow us, subscribe to us, and thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye. Oh, it wasn't even fucking recording.